Hi everybody, Nick Geyer, Titleist Tour rep. Excited to be with Cam Young's Wyndham winning golf bag. I want to go through the irons and the GT metals. There's some really interesting, fantastic stuff in here that Cam has worked with our team to give him the ultimate amount of control and stability kind of throughout this upper portion of the bag. Starting off with the driver, GT2 in 9 degrees. One of the things that is fantastic for Cam is he is always open to what product is going to benefit him over the course of not just a shot, but a tournament or many tournaments. GT2 provided him not only speed, but stability. Obviously, as a guy with tons of ball speed, one of the things that we want to give him is control. The GT2 as a larger chassis has provided him with that. He does a lot of shaping of the golf ball, so it's still allowing him to do things with tee height and peak height downrange, but GT2 has really allowed him to feel like he can swing freely, and coming down the stretch, it certainly worked. 185 miles an hour of ball speed on that 18th tee, felt comfortable enough to take driver en route to winning his first PGA event. In his GT2 is Tensei 1K 60TX Orange in the A1 setting. So one of the things that we have gone through with Cam in settling in GT2 is a lot of different feels when it comes to shafts. For a long time, Cam played the 1K white version of that shaft. Orange, slightly more counterbalanced, a little bit stiffer in the handle, giving him a little bit of the feel at the top. His kind of namesake pause, that transition, feeling the stiffness, he really liked the way it felt, helped him move that ball left to right. So a lot of cool things when it comes to the specifics of him picking a product that not only works, but really, really feels good. 3 wood next in the bag, GT3 15, again in the A1 setting, and as I alluded to before, that really comfortable 1K white 80 TX. One of those things that we've noticed with Cam is this is a golf course dependent golf club. So he's floated with GT280 in the bag. There's been a great value to that golf club prior events and prior golf courses, but GT315 this last week, again, built for control, prefers the traditional shaping of that, has been a club that I think really has floated in and out of the bag, but has really great suitable options for whatever the course may need that week. And then finally, GT2 Hybrid in this top pocket of the bag. That GT2 Hybrid is the 21 degree, again in A1, with a Ventus 10X. When we're talking about descent angle, when we're talking about the ability for him to take advantage on those par 5s or even those long par 4s, GT2 Hybrid allowed for that gapping and allowed for that steep descent angle. We've seen T250 and T200 float in and out throughout the course of the last couple of years. One of the things that has been really fascinating is even though he's a high-speed player, allowing him to feel like he's got a club that fits between this GT3 3-wood and that T200 4-iron that can still have the peak height and the descent angle of clubs shorter than that, has really provided him with a huge benefit and allowed him to unlock again all of the benefits of his speed. And it's really interesting to see a hybrid firmly placed in one of the fastest players on the PGA Tour. It just goes to show that with a really great fit, those golf clubs just hugely beneficial regardless of setup. Now on to his iron set, 631 CY Cam Young, his own iron. Cam has unique delivery when it comes to the golf swing, produces immense amount of speed, and with that speed comes unique conditions in which he delivers the club to the ball. This iron came about through those unique conditions in testing with Marnie and our R&D team. You'll notice that the leading edge has a little bit more pre-wear on it. It gives him a little bit of protection and bounce for that delivery. All we want to do is unlock his incredible ability to not only work the golf ball, but control the golf ball with those irons. So 9 through 6 in that 631 CY. Transitioning from 631s in that 9 through 6 iron, he bridges that gap to a T100 5-iron and then a T200 4-iron. Now, many of the players that choose to play Titleist irons do that, and that happens through the fitting process. one of the things that provides Cam a benefit in transitioning to those irons is his ability to bridge the speed gap when it comes to potentially distance. So we typically try to see about 5 to 6 miles an hour between models so that that gapping can be good, or potentially forgiveness or peak height. So we talk a lot about descent angle. 5 and 4 iron in slightly larger chassis, slightly more forgiving, can provide us that steep descent angle that allows Cam to really take advantage of his length, having a lot of 4 and 5 irons into par 5s, showing steep descent angle, allowing him to attack. 5 and 4 iron, 5 iron T100, 4 iron T200 would allow him just to, again, unlock that ability and use his speed to his advantage. In Cam's irons, Dynamic Gold X7, so for those that know, pretty stiff, pretty heavy. Cam's got a really smooth tempo, but he's a strong swinger with tons of speed, so that's something that he has kept in his irons that can certainly keep up with him, helps us manage launch, helps us manage a little bit of spin, and likes the feel of heavy when it comes to his tempo.
Hey everybody, I'm Aaron Dill, Vokey wedge rep out here on the PGA Tour inside the Titleist Tour support trailer, and I have in hand the winning wedges for Cameron Young, the 2025 Wyndham champion, and I wanted to go through the set and just share some cool tidbits about these 4 Vokey wedges that I think are really interesting. It'll give you some good perspective on how he puts together his set, but also some things that you might use when you build yours. So we've got a 4810F here. This is his pitching wedge. This is essentially just a distance wedge, right? There's nothing super complicated about it. Just needs to hit a number. And then you get into the 5212F. This is a distance gap wedge, again, just hitting that perfect number from the fairway. And then as we start to add loft, we go 5614F at 57 degrees. So we add an extra degree. This one, again, it started out as a short game tool around the greens, also a distance wedge. Then as we work together more, we learned that, you know what, this is really just a distance wedge that he wants to be comfortable with in some of those closer proximity shots from the fairway. And then the workhorse, the 60K star at 62 degrees. A lot of fun things to talk about with this, but when you look at the set as a whole, there's a lot of great balance here, and some of the key things that I think he really gravitates to, that he pays attention to, is looks are very important. So you've got your classic Vokey shapes, which he's very attracted to. And then as he's building a set, he's thinking about what really is important. These first 2, very simple, not a lot going on. Just want to make sure that these bounces get him out of the ground, that he has the flight windows that he wants, that he has spin, but more importantly, just hitting that perfect carry number. This one, long bunker shots, into the green Bermuda shots. Anytime there's a lie that's a little dicey, a little questionable, this thing is awesome. But this one is the one that gets him out of the most predicaments, the most greenside troubles. And really where this stems from is the work we did at Valhalla in 2024 during the PGA Championship. He came to me, he said, I'm struggling in the bunkers, not really feeling comfortable. His dad was there. We talked a lot about the importance of having more speed through those spaces, getting a little more height, having a little more spin. He was in a tee grind before. It just came out a little too low. And what we've learned over the years of working with the best players in the world is anytime we start to add a little bit of width to the bottom of the golf club, that creates a little bit of easy height. So we talk about the K-grind being the bunker-friendly club. This is a little bit of the best of both worlds, because at the same time of him wanting to have all of the ease that comes out of the bunker with the height, the spin, the stopping power, he still wants the versatility that he so desperately needs in those firmer conditions in grass around the greens, where we have to still create the height, but when he has to open up that face, it has to look good, it has to sit close to the ground. So that's the beauty about the K-Star, is we've got the width for the bunkers, we've got the polishing on the bottom that helps with those greenside shots when you have to open up the face. Another really important thing for him is spin management. Out here, spin is one of those more important things that wedges really rely on to control your Pro V1 or Pro V1x, is just making sure you have the right spin with the right loft. So these first 2, he's a real high spin player. He might play these for a long period of time, because when he first gets these, they're a little sharp. He'll break these in, and then that ball stays through that perfect window all the time. So he's getting that spin he needs, he's through the right launch windows, and his carry is as consistent as he'd hope for. And then as you start to add that loft, now we need to make sure that the strike is low on the face. We've got a little bit of extra bounce here at 14 degrees. We move it to 57, so it actually technically is 57-15. Seems like a lot, but for a player like him who has a little bit of shaft lean, who hits it occasionally higher on the face, this keeps him down low on grooves 2 through 5, gets that perfect launch window, that high spin and stopping power, and more importantly, he's carrying it the exact yardage he wants. And then this guy is just having that forgiveness, that versatility where he needs it. It's that perfect balance for him. But really, this is all about having that higher launch around the greens. So Cam is one of our stronger players, and because of that strength, he needs a lot of stability. So when you look at his setup, his 48, 52, 56, and 62, you can see he's playing the X7 shaft in the first three. Again, these are a spin management shaft. They're really stiff, they're really rigid, but they give him those feels and that consistency of his flight and spin that he really needs because he's really so strong. And then as he gets into that 62, just a standard X100, which is a great feeling shaft for even a strong player, still producing a lower flight, adding some spin when you need it. And then he's playing these big, cool Align Max rib grips. If you love ribs, these are great. Again, this is hitting that lifeline in his fingers, so he knows exactly where that club is, managing the face and impact. And then for his lengths, unique lengths actually. He's actually standard here, quarter here, and a half on these. A little uncommon for some players, but this is the exact feel and fit that he really wants. And so, again, stiff, rigid, spin management in the first three, and an X1 that offers him some of that feel.
Yeah, so just loft flying, doing a loft fly check on Cam Young's gamer that he won last week in Wyndham with. Just making sure his specs are kind of where they need to be. And good thing is he is where he is. No adjustments needed. He obviously putted very well last week, first in strokes gained putting through the week. Pretty big victory for him, rolled it very well. Cam Young plays a Phantom 9.5 or 9.5R, 9.5 referring to the jet neck. This is a model that he has kind of worked into earlier this year. Started early in the year with a plumber's neck. It's been kind of a journey with Cam. He's given great feedback on what he's looking for through his putters. Always played something in the Phantom line. He's played Phantom 11, he's played Phantom 5. When he saw the Phantom 9 head earlier this year, he really enjoyed the shape of it, kind of how it framed the ball for him. Long line on here, as we can see. Where we ended up on the jet neck is he's always wanted to kind of feel flow in the putter. We've started in face balance mallets for him, and we've kind of worked our way down to a point where he's felt comfortable enough to feel the toe flow the way he wants it and get the release of the putter that he wants it. And since switching to this earlier this year with the jet neck, he has shot up the rankings in shots gained putting. I believe he's 6th right now in total strokes gained putting. Really improved that aspect of the game, and for such a long hitter as he is, being a good putter, having trust in your putter is a big aspect in his game, and certainly helped him to the win last week. A lot of feedback we've gotten through players, through proto testing with players and getting feedback from them through the models of the years. Obviously, this is a couple generations into the Phantom line. Is a lot of it is players want to see that putter sit in a solid position when they put the ball, or when they put the putter behind the ball, no matter what turf condition they're on, no matter kind of how the greens are undulated. So this has been a lot of work on the sole plate and how the putter sits for our entire Phantom line, just with years of feedback from players, and obviously benefits Cam because he knows that when he can put the putter down, it's going to sole the way he wants it to every time. He's always told me that if he played a blade, it would be a Newport style, and the Phantom 9R, standing for the rounder edges, kind of complements that Newport blade look to it. A lot of players like some of the softer edges on mallets, or if it isn't a blade, because it doesn't look so technical or mechanical to them, where players that like a lot more squareness for aim will use something like a Newport 2 or some of the boxier style mallets that are a little more squared off. So Cam, I think if he were to choose a blade putter, it would be a Newport, and this kind of accompanies it in the mallet line.
We're here celebrating Cam's big victory last week at the Wyndham Championship, where he put a new Titleist Pro V1x prototype into play. My purpose, the group that I'm involved in, we have a couple different responsibilities. One is to make sure that the players at the elite level, PGA Tour all the way down, are playing the correct product. We have several different options for them to choose from, and it's our job to help find players the right one. The other part of our job, though, is to help with product development. So we're always paying attention to what players are saying, what they're asking for, what do we have, what don't we have, what do we need to have, and it's our job to report back. We're kind of the liaison between the players and our product development teams. So we're informing our product development teams, hey, the players like this, they don't like this. They want this, they'd rather see this, and that's going to help drive future products. So again, kind of a dual role, let's help them find the best product currently, but then also let's use that information that they can provide for us to help make the next best generation of products. We had identified Cam as a potential candidate for this type of product. It is what we call a CPO. It is a customized performance option. And what that means is there are certain players out on tour who have very unique needs and launch conditions. These CPO products, again, these tour-only customized performance options are a great way for us to, again, help certain types of players where a stock product may not fit them quite as well. And what that also does for us, it allows us to try new things and some different things to see how that may then be incorporated into a stock product. And Cam just fit perfectly for the design of this new X prototype. He actually tested it on course for the first time on Tuesday. We walked 9 holes playing it, trying to evaluate it in as many different conditions as we can. And then the following morning, Wednesday in the Pro-Am, he played it for the 9 holes. And after 2 days of testing it, he felt really comfortable with the product and really was a home run. It was better all across the board. It was more consistent, more predictable. And again, we'll look at features of that product and hey, what about that ball could be used in potential future products.